On Interstate 15, between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, just about the time you reach Yermo, if you look north, northwest, somewhere in that direction, you'll see the Calico Ghost Town sign up on the mountains. You'll know the Yermo exit. That's right where they store all of those tanks ready for deployment to Syria, New York, and Chicago, and other places of civil unrest. The tanks are on one side of the freeway, and Calico's on the other side. If you're coming from Los Angeles, take off at the Yermo interchange and go underneath the bridge. It's about 3 miles from the interstate. This town, which is an original 1880s ghost town, was bought and owned by Walter Knott of Knott's Berry Farm. Now it's a state park and costs $8 to get in. You possibly could describe it as a tourist trap. Some of the buildings are originals with restoration, others are basically new to the scene, haven't been built from scratch.
Oh, the restaurant, but it's not open.
Doesn't look like it, does it? Well, not drawing much of a crowd here, even on a Saturday.
That's because everybody but us was up at the stage shootout. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come to this park.
And up here they're having some kind of a gun battle going on. Western gun battle.
Came up here not just to see this little town, but to go to the 2 ghost tours that are offered early in the evening. One of them the Maggie Mine, which is what this video is about. The other one is about the schoolhouse, which is right here. The schoolhouse has no admission unless you're actually on the ghost tour. The schoolhouse will be covered in the second video. We paid for our ghost tour tickets here at the Bottle House, and then we're disappointed to find out that they don't permit the use of any equipment on any of these ghost tours. That means EMF detectors, REM pods, millimeters, ghost box, I don't care what you've got, you're not taking it. The only thing they allow is video and audio recording. Walking through the Maggie Mine during the day, it was only $3. It's worth it.
This part of the Maggie Mine was given the name Dead Man's Drill because no mine timbers were used to support the roof and walls. And be sure to keep an eye out for silver nuggets along the way.
Uh-huh.
Well, whoever said that the Chinese couldn't get a job in mines is just a damn liar. $65,000 glory hole. Yep, there's Brucey.
Brucey's not a canary.
Brucey the canary.
Brucey's not a canary.
Well, that's what it's like during the day with the lights on and the ventilation fan. At night, When there's no lights, it takes on a little bit different appearance.
Of course, when we had the volcanic upheavals out here, they heated up the sand mixed with water and mud a few million years, and it turned to rock. This is what they call a dike. It is a shelf of rock that goes all the way up into the base of that mountain. The problem with these are there's nothing in here except rock until we get closer to the mine. Okay, let's head along up this way. Okay. Now, this is the original entrance into the mine. They discovered silver on top, dug straight down, and they were pulling everything out with buckets and chains and ropes and manpower, horsepower. Veins of ore in the rock. Now, veins start way down below your feet where the molten rock is. Molten rock is the heaviest in the world. Everything else that's on top of it, lead, gold, silver, copper, as it's pushed up towards the surface. The miners, they all came from different countries. That's how America was made at the time. Okay, this little bit of light right here was like daylight to them. Now here in California, we used the bell system. They would ring a bell, say 3 times, and that would warn everybody outside the mine and inside the mine that we're going to do some blasting. Right here, I've got a chute that goes up to a level above our head. We also have a level below our feet. Now, in order to get the ore from this top level down to this lower level, they'll push an empty cart up here. Now, they did have a bell right here, and they would ring the bell, and they would alert the guy above that he was ready to receive the ore.
While we were all standing still waiting for the guy to open this cage door, Jan suddenly proclaimed that something had bitten her.
Something. Hey.
It was back there by the door. It went down across the floor, or down across the floor, into the floor, from the roof down.
When was that?
Oh, that was a couple years ago.
Nothing recent,
We've seen recent ones here. And so I started walking back that way. Don't ask me why. And I walked back this way and I stopped because across the bottom of that door, the whole bottom, it was about 2 feet high and as long. And it was just there. And I said, hello, somebody there? Not knowing if somebody had, fell or hurt themselves. And whatever it was, the front turned as though it was a head and he was looking over at me. And I thought, oh, it's a dog. And I started walking backwards going, it's okay, puppy. You just stay right there. I'm going to go get his teeth. It's okay, puppy. And I'm walking backwards. And I'm talking real sweet to this because I know by then it was a dog because it had the outline of the dog. And I'm talking as nice as I could until I got out of the way. Then I took off running, got milk tea, came back here. Well, of course, by then it was gone. No women, no way could they come into the mine. So to hear women giggling in here was really, really stand still, listen. And then we heard the men mumbling and jumbling behind them. Well, we didn't stay in here very long. I got back this way and I said, okay. But I hear men humming all the time as I walk through here, doing things, gathering, getting everything ready for the tours. They hum.
About this time, Jan began to worry about her bug bite, whatever it was. I looked at it. It kind of looked like a scratch without an abrasion, more like a burn.
I remember I got that earlier. It's just the filth. It's like...
Well, these are the Mulcahy brothers. They represent the Mulcahy brothers. The Mulcahys was a large mining family that lived in Nevada. Maurice Mulcahy Sr. was the superintendent of a big mine. He took his eldest son, John, in for a look-see one day. They were down in the lower levels. John was about 16 at the time. And the father actually slipped and fell down a vertical shaft 125 feet. By the time they got him out and up to the surface, he had died. Elizabeth, the mother, she gathered her 7 kids and they all moved here to Calico. When the brothers became old enough, they started the Mulcahy Brothers Enterprise. And they bought up some of the old mines that weren't being used, like this one. And they renamed this mine the Maggie, after an old Irish love song.
We had another lady that took a picture of a friend of hers that was in that corner over here. And when she got the picture, she ran and showed LT and she says, look. And she showed it to her, and there were circles just engulfing this lady in this picture. They were about yay big, and they were different sizes, but they weren't dust, because dust looks like snow in a picture.
Actually, orbs are dust, just close-up dust.
And they were just everywhere.
If you look up here, there's some cracks that go across the top here. Now, this is what they call a reverse fault. Some of the rock is moving up and some of the rock is moving down. Welcome to California. They blasted this out, added the staircase, now we have an exit. Right here I got a big orange fan which is on during the day to help circulate air. There's a mother and daughter in here. The daughter was about 21 years old. The fan was making a real awful noise. The mother walked up, put her hand on the fan, then she turned around to talk to her daughter. And when they turned back, there was a rock on top, and it was jiggling around on top. Boy, they saw that, turned around and took off. Two pictures up here. One night, a guy took a picture. There was a little green gnome or something at the top of the stairs right up there. Really cool.
And a man
And we
was
always get
standing up.
pictures of people.
A man was standing up there, it looked like he had a poncho on with like a sash. He had some kind of a little light on his ears. Click, click, click. Hey, this worked out great. This is your wife, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I think they were trying to get out. Some nice pictures down that way. If you go on our site, you'll see pictures down there, huge, huge orbs. I mean,
Jan was still worried about her scratch or bite or whatever it was. I looked at it and it started to develop into a full-size scratch without the abrasion. But again, it was only one scratch and not 3 scratches, which other investigators typically report when they're touched by something.
Mine's weird scratching my knee. That's weird.
Sure you didn't bang it against the wall or something?
I didn't. I
Really?
if I bang it against the wall, the scratch is not just that.
are you okay?
Ah, yeah, of course.
Okay. And I saw sitting on top of that corner wall, brought it down. And then right in front of him, standing, was another man. And they had really super long black hair. And this was probably about 10:30, 11 at night. And I said, excuse me, are you okay? You know, you're not supposed to be in the town at this time of the night. And I could see them turning and looking at me. And then they disappeared.
Well, whoever said that the Chinese couldn't get a job in mines is just a damn liar. This ghost tour was fun. I'd take it again. You can't beat being underground for an hour, hour and a half for a $10 bill. But as far as perceived activity, well, Jan felt that she got scratched by something. I was like, huh? So I have to put a question mark next to that one. As far as anything that was recorded, well, since no equipment is allowed down here, obviously nothing was recorded. So we really don't know if there's activity down here or not. And that's unfortunate, because there may very well be.